Hunt is a film starring Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank about a group of people who are captured against their will and taken to a town where they are hunted by people. Turns out these people are sort of the liberal elite, social justice warriors, and they are trying to get across some message about fake news, you know, caring about animals and any other sort of social justice thing you want to get with. In fact, when one of them gets killed, they say, "Oh, should I show you mercy because you're a woman?" And she says, "Well, no," and so she gets shot. And there's also mixed messages about people taking the wrong opinion of others, but the works both ways. That's fine, the message is there, it's really in your face, and once you get past that, what you've got is quite a good, fun, tight action film. It certainly doesn't feel like a film that should be out of the cinema, that if you went with someone, you wouldn't feel happy that you paid £30 odd to go and see it at the cinema. But now it's being shown at the moment on the sort of on-demand services that are replacing the cinema, because all the cinemas are shut due to the coronavirus. You feel that £15 for it, to rent it for 2 nights so everyone can watch it, is about the right price point for it, and it might be the way that films go from now on. Betty Gilpin is the main star of the film. You have lots of other faces in it, lots of B and C list actors that you'll recognise. They meet their ends quite quickly. That was a bit of a shock to me, and when one of them dies, I did even jump and go, "Woo!" They killed her, wow. But, you know, she's the main star, but she's this sort of former soldier, now works in a sort of car rental place, and she's badass. From the start, she's badass. There's nothing she does that isn't sort of super tough. Although she does have a moment of weakness where she's crying because it all gets to her, but she's sort of locked on, you know, full Rambo mode. And she makes a good action heroine. I think that she should have been cast as Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, but she didn't. Brie Larson got it instead. In fact, when you read interviews with her, it turns out that she didn't get cast in a lot of roles because of her figure, because she's got a very womanly figure, let's say, and people kick up a shitstorm if you put anyone that isn't sort of a certain size in films. So I think it's somewhat unfair to judge people on their bodies, whether they look exactly like the character and they're actually really good at acting. And she does a good job of acting in this as well. Probably acts better than the film deserves. You've got good kills, you've got nice practical effects, you've got good sort of gory effects. It knows what it is. It feels like a sort of exploitation style film that's been given probably a bigger profile than it should have had, because it was sort of cancelled due to events in the American press, where they were reporting on some shootings and killings, and this was around that time. But that said, I think it's worth watching. There's good fight scenes in it. There's a kitchen fight at the end that is sort of reminiscent of War of the Roses, and it's got good use of kitchen utensils as weapons, and it's got a sense of humour about it as well. It's like when the two ladies, Hilary Swank and Betty Gilpin, are fighting, they're sort of making up rules of the fight as they go along, and so they're going like, "That's not fair, that's not what you should be doing." And I thought that was a nice touch. It's just what it is. If you've got a real problem with the message they're trying to get across and you can't get that out of your head, then you probably won't enjoy it. But if you just let that wash over you and enjoy it for the fun thing that it is, then I think The Hunt's certainly worth watching. And if you don't watch it now on one of these sort of premium on-demand prices, it will certainly be bumped down to a streaming service quite quickly, I should think, where you can get it for a couple of quid, if not free as part of Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that. But yeah, The Hunt, I think it was a good film. Let me know what you think if you've seen it, and please feel free to like and subscribe.